Okay.
Wow.
So we have been missing for a very long time. There has been
a long time.
A long time.
Month. It's been a month.
So Robbie actually picked up another job, so that has kept him very busy. And then last week we actually tried recording, but we were experiencing technical difficulties. So
massive.
Yeah. So we're back.
Hashtag Atlantic Broadband.
And we're going to make it a point to try to do this every week. And if we skip a week, it's just our busy schedule. So bear with us.
It happens.
Yes.
But this week, we are talking about the pandemic.
Yes, it's been 1 year. So we figured this was a good episode to talk about Corona and how it just affects everyone.
Yes, yes. So how has it affected you?
Well, me personally, I am working from home, which I did not like at first, and after a few weeks and got used to it, I really decided I like working from home better. I don't have to pretend to be happy or nice. So that's kind of great. Yes, I've been working from home, and then of course my daughter has been doing virtual learning, which that was a whole nother disaster because that definitely took some getting used to. So yeah, we're finally adjusted though. I think things are finally, we're at an okay place. Like she's doing okay with her virtual learning, and I'm content working from home. Although now they're saying that they're going to reevaluate us coming back to the office.
Ooh.
So that's kind of sad for me, but I mean, whatever. I'll make the best of it.
I don't ever want to go back into an office.
I don't either.
Ever.
It's very sad.
Like it's
Actually,
been so nice.
I said that, and when they mentioned it, I said, so in case my opinion matters, I really am very happy where I'm at. I don't want to come back.
Yeah.
So how about you? How has the pandemic been affecting you? I know you typically travel a lot for work.
Yeah, so no more travel. I used to travel across the country every other week.
Right.
No more miles, no more hotel points. I actually just used like 200,000 miles to bring my brother and his fiance down on a engagement gift. It's like we're going to the Bahamas. And I was like, come down, I'll get you first class tickets. I've actually bought several people tickets with my miles because they're going to expire eventually.
Right.
If I don't fly. And it's not looking like I'm going to do that anytime soon. So I'm like, may as well use them. No more hotel points. No, no getting out of Miami. No. Oh. Looking for my thing. All right. No more hotel points, no more traveling, no more getting out of Miami, no more trying out new cities. No, none of that. And I miss that. I don't like going into an office.
Right.
And on top of that, I work next to my partner all day, so that's a bit of a challenge. Sometimes we just want to kill each other. And
understandably.
A lot of times we have meetings that overlap, so it is difficult. One of us leaves the room if we have to talk.
Gotcha.
We ask if we have to talk and then go from there. And it has been a challenge. It's been an adjustment to not traveling at all.
Right.
Not, and it's you can't even travel for recreation. So that too has been a challenge. And especially with the learning, you had mentioned learning, which
right.
I took an online class for certification, and I retained none of the information.
Yeah, because you're more of a hands-on learner. I do remember that from school.
Yeah, so I was like, this is... I was very concerned about all of the kids not in class. Because I'm like, how are they doing that? Like, how is Lily doing that? How is she
So-
coping?
They're like last year when this all started, her school specifically, obviously they had nothing in place for something like this. So it was just I think it was kind of thrown together very last minute, and it was not structured. It was not like it was a disaster. So of course, I think pretty much a lot of the kids last year, I think they all just kind of got like a green pass. As long as they were doing their assignments, whether they understood it or got good grades, they just kind of passed the kids, because what else are they going to do? I mean, she didn't do horrible, but honestly, I'm like, how much information is she actually retaining? But then this year, they had like a couple different options. Like you could either do hybrid learning, which was like part of the time in the school, part of the time online. You could try to do all-day school, which I did not send her to all-day school, mainly because I'm like, well, they're going to shut down the school when they have positive cases, and then that's even more stressful because then you're not set up for online, and then you're going back and forth. So I didn't do that at all. Same with the hybrid learning. I did not do that. Actually, at first I wanted to for the socialization aspect of it, but I just decided it wasn't worth the going back and forth and risking like exposure and all of that.
Yeah.
So we opted for online, and then they had this separate program, so you could actually do it through like the school district here, or they had a virtual academy, which we chose the virtual academy because their curriculum is way more advanced than the public schools. So like right now she's doing way more advanced things than like her peers are in public school. And her grades are exponentially, I fucking slayed that word, by the way. I feel like that did not sound right. Anyways, what is
exponentially.
Way better, basically, than she ever was. So she's like now an AB student, whereas before she was more of a BC student. So now I'm faced with, obviously, things are starting to very slowly go back to normal. So now I have to decide if I'm going to keep her in virtual academy next year, or if I'm going to send her to in-person, which I am so conflicted because I feel like she's at the age, she's going to be in 7th grade. So I feel like she needs the socialization, but at the same time, academically, that's what school's about. And if she's doing better. So I don't know. So we're still trying to figure all of that out, but academically, she's doing amazing. And I know it's because there's no distractions, from kids.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
Yeah. But there's a lot of kids, like there's friends of hers, like when we had conferences, they had to do, like if they have like if they don't get like a 70%, they have to completely retake an assignment. And she had like 2 that she had to retake. Well, her one little friend had over 30. And she only had like a week to do it. And I'm like, how is this poor kid going to pass? So I do know, like, I'm fortunate because my kid was able to adapt. But there are parents out there with kids that aren't doing well. And so that's really sad that there are kids out there struggling. Fortunately, mine's not one of them, but
I mean, that's good. That's good.
I know. I'm very grateful. But I feel horrible for the kids that, they're home because they're trying to stay safe and they're not able to do what they need to do. So
I just, that whole course that I had to take really opened my eyes, and I'm like, I sat on my phone and I played a game about fish. Like, I don't even like fishing. Like,
you were just over it.
I mean, it was about like obstetrics, so I mean,
right?
Not the least interesting in the first place.
For you. Yeah.
But did it, passed, so
yeah,
that's good.
So how has the socialization been for you? Because you and I are both very similar. We're pretty much extroverts that like to socialize.
Well, so it's weird because in Miami I don't like to socialize because Miami people are terrible humans. They are They are not nice. They are, like, this is a known thing. Like,
Right.
they are not nice people. They're very self centered, and what's in it for me. So in Miami, I'm not very social as it is.
Right.
In other cities, though, like when I was in Philly, I would go out and I like had my routine. In Sacramento, I literally had a routine. I was like, on Monday, I go to this restaurant and I do this. You know, on Tuesday, I go out with this friend and I would usually cook for her at her house or we'd order takeout.
Right.
And then on Wednesday, I'd go out with a different friend, you know, and his partner, and like we'd go out to a restaurant, and then on Thursday I would fly back, and I was like, and that's my week, you know. Like Sunday I would chill and do whatever, like maybe try a new restaurant. But no, so I mean, like when I was in other cities, I very much had that social aspect,
Right.
and now it's like, oh,
Now
like
you
it's
don't have
terrible.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a lot more like Zoom calls. Actually, at first it was a lot more Zoom calls and WebExes. And then I think people started to adjust and got busy, like in their new adjustment.
Right. I agree with that. I definitely, like, towards the beginning, me and my friends would do a lot of Zoom. Well, you and I, me and, like, other friends, we
Yeah.
would do Zoom meetings and, like, even have, like, drinks and, like, you know, laugh and have a good time. And then it kind of progressed. Then the weather got nice last year, like springtime, like when the weather started getting nice, because obviously in Wisconsin it's, you know, it's cold. So when it started to get nice, we would do outdoor stuff. Like we would have driveway drinks where we would bring like our little patio chairs and we'd alternate whose driveway it was like the next week. And we would just go have driveway cocktails in that person's driveway and catch up. But we'd space our chairs out and, you know, try to do it safely. Yeah. And then like here we have, like, you know, like there's like a bunch of like rivers and lakes around here. So all like the outdoor bars would have like the tables spaced apart, but then they would still have live music. So I did that a couple times last summer where we would go to these places socially, you know, and just space out and just be outside so we could feel like we were kind of having a normal life. And then I caught COVID anyway. So that happened to me.
Terrible.
I had COVID. I'm a survivor.
You are. I might have had it. I don't know. I was in Asia, like, when it started. I was like,
remember.
I literally, for everybody listening, I went to Asia. I did, like, a tour of Asia.
Yeah, let's talk about
with-
that for a minute because I feel like all of our listeners, or majority of them, are probably never going to experience this in their life, me included. So if you could just kind of run that down for people listening, what that experience was like, I feel like that's pretty interesting.
So, me and my partner, well, I mean, first off, let's start with I wanted to travel out of the country more because I've been traveling a lot in this country for like a decade. So, I made a resolution to start traveling out of the country. My partner and I wanted to travel to Asia, and then after a few drinks, my mom wanted to travel. His mom wanted to travel. I was like, why don't we bring our moms to Asia?
I mean, honestly, though, what an amazing memory to have with your mothers, really.
It was actually really good. It was really good
Yeah.
because it's different. Like you don't get that like bonding time like with
Right.
just you and a parent when you're an adult.
No.
So that was really cool. So we did Singapore, Phuket, and Bangkok, and then Manny and I did Hong Kong on the way back. In Hong Kong, it was during the riots, so we didn't get to see much. We pretty much saw the Ritz-Carlton and 5 first-class lounges in the airport. One of which I showered in. Yeah, Pacific Airways has really nice ones. But
Oh my
anyway,
gosh.
so...
Talk about your airplane, because you sent me a picture. That was the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, like in first class?
Yes. Like, you had a bed, you had jammies, you had a roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you were living your best life.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I fly a lot, so I had a lot of miles, so I'm like, let's upgrade. Plus, my status is high still, thankfully. So we got upgraded, and it was amazing. Like, you get the late, well, I mean, so my big thing when I fly in first class is like, I always want the lay down seats because I feel like sitting upright in first class, like, I'm on flights usually like at least 3 hours.
Right.
If not 5. So I prefer the lay down seats anyways. But if you're international, you get the Bang & Olufsen headphones, you get pajamas, they hand you off pajamas before you take off. You get a full bed set. Full bed set. You get the usual first class perks like, meals,
towel, all that,
and unlimited drinks. Yeah, and the towels and all of that. Which, like, I loved it because on that trip we flew Texas over the Arctic Cap.
How long was the flight altogether? It was like 17 hours?
16, yeah, almost 17, yeah. I think. It was either 16 or almost 17. But, like, I took a muscle relaxer that I'd gotten in Mexico because they make me sleep.
Right.
And I wanted to sleep because I had just, like, the week before I had worked in California. I literally flew across the country. My mom was already in Miami. We went to a birthday party at my partner's sister's place. And then the next day our parents flew out to Asia.
Right.
So, I mean, I was exhausted. Got on the plane, had my, what do I get? I usually get the braised beef. And put on my pajamas, made my little bed, put on a movie, and had
this was just insane. Like,
I loved it. Yeah. I had like maybe 4 whiskey and cokes, and passed out for 12 hours. I woke up because they give you a midnight snack. They ask you on sliders or like, some ice cream or something, and I had the sliders. I woke up for that, and then I fell right back asleep, and then I woke up and we were nearing Hong Kong already, and it was breakfast, and so I had my breakfast. I didn't really eat much because I had just woken up.
Fucked up. Wore some jammies and ate a few good meals.
I slept for 12 hours. Like the stewardess or the flight attendant
for your pulse.
They were asking Manny, they're like, he is really getting good sleep. I'm like, I got such great sleep on that flight. And it sucks because on the flight back, we flew Hong Kong to LA and we had turbulence over the Arctic Cap. And I was like, if this plane goes down, nobody's going to find us. It's just water. I'm like, there's nothing else. And I was like, because it was really bad turbulence too. I was like, if this is the end, we're just done.
I had an amazing last week.
But anyway, so we had a layover in Hong Kong. I try and wake up a little, but I'm like, it's night,
right?
Or no. So we got into Hong Kong like around noon. Then we had to fly Hong Kong to Singapore, which is like another 3 hours. And I was in coach. And after you fly 16 hours in first class, and coach in a different airway, because it was a different airway, so I didn't have status. I was like, this is awful. And it was like the middle of the middle seats. I was like, this is the worst thing.
Like, I just want to die.
I know. So we get to Singapore, and I was like, I can't believe I didn't log on to change my seats at least. So we get to Singapore. It's nighttime by the time we get there. We go to Marina Bay Sands, which is that beautiful hotel with the pool on the roof. The one that looks like a boat with the 3 legs.
Yes.
Yeah. So we get there. Our moms meet us in the lobby. We had an amazing time. turns out Singapore is, like, that Marina Bay Sands is very resort-y. Like, it's very much a resort. There's shopping there, but it's, like, all high-end stuff. It's like, I'm not going to pay, like, actually that trip
I mean,
was
in
actually...
Hong Kong, I feel like you could get an entire... Actually, when we went to New York, and I was flying back, I sat next to this girl who was, like, a world traveler. And she traveled the world all by herself. Actually, that was the best flight ever because I got to talk to this chick. She was so interesting. And she would travel literally all over the world by herself. Like, she wasn't afraid.
That's
like,
awesome.
just go. Like, she just goes.
Yeah.
So she was telling me how she, actually, I think it probably got brought up because of you. Because I was like, oh, I just met my friend, you know, whatever. I'm like, he travels a lot. He's actually going to Asia. And she's like, oh, I go there. She goes, and actually, she goes, that's the best place to go. She goes, because I just bring an empty suitcase. And I just buy all of my shit when I'm there. She goes, I'll spend like $50, 50 American dollars, and I'll leave with an entire new wardrobe.
Yeah, so in Thailand, that's where they do that.
Yeah.
Like, Singapore is very resort-driven. Like, it's a little... It's kitschy. It's, like, it's very much a resort. Like, you stay, play at the hotel.
Resort, yeah.
Like, there's a downtown area and, like, some shops and whatnot. There's, like, high-end stuff. There's, like, cheap, like, markets. But it's, like, Singapore is not... I wasn't like, oh, there's so much culture here. Like, I was like... But then we went to Thailand. And, like, Thailand... So, we went from this very nice resort...
Right.
Marina Bay Sands, where there's like Chanel and Gucci, Louis Vuitton, like in the hotel, to Phuket, Thailand, which when you get out of the airport, there's chickens running around and it looks like a third world country.
How did the mom
And
handle that?
mom, well, Manny's mom is from Colombia, so she was
So
like,
she was
fine.
like adapted. She's like, whatever.
Unfazed.
Right.
Unfazed. My mom, on the other hand, was like, oh my God, what did you do?
Are we gonna
We're going to
be
die.
here? Yeah.
We're going to get kidnapped. And I literally thought we were going to get kidnapped at one point because the taxi driver went off and went to this place and tried to get us to sign up for tours. And I was like, shit, we're going to die. Like, I took my mom on this and we're going to die. But he just wanted to us to sign up for tours. But anyways, so it took, like, we stayed at this really, really also very nice resort.
Right.
With a private beach. It's like in a little cove. It was beautiful. But it took like 2 hours to get there from the airport. And Phuket, Phuket, you can get like people to make you suits and dresses. Like, Manny got 3 suits for like $300. And they were handmade,
Like
tailored to his size. Yeah. Yeah.
Why didn't you get
And
some?
because I was like, my weight fluctuates a lot, first off, and second off, I do everything I can not to wear a suit. I don't like wearing suits.
I know you don't. But you
So,
have the hair for it.
No, I don't. So we did the hotel, we did the beach. Like, I was gonna rent jet skis, but then it was like, no. We did the markets, which they're like very much like wet markets. They have a ton of knockoff stuff that is very close to like the actual stuff. Because I go to Louis Vuitton, I have Louis Vuitton stuff, and like the bags that are knockoffs are incredibly similar.
Right.
Which, I mean, kind of speaks to Louis Vuitton because they don't even use real leather, you know? I mean, maybe if they didn't have a shit product that they sold for $2,000, $3,000, you know, I get that it's about the design, but if people are knocking it off, like, clearly there's other artistic people. But... So we did that. My mom didn't love the markets. She was like, I'm going to get E. coli or hepatitis.
Oh, well, while we're talking about the market, so you know how you always see, like, Asia is known for, like, doing some really sick shit when it comes to animals. On the street. Did you guys witness that?
No.
Oh, okay. I just was.
But, I mean, that's more China. Like, they have a market in Bangkok that's on the water, and you can eat, like, the scorpions or the whatever.
Right.
We didn't get to that. Like, we were only in Bangkok for a couple days.
Right.
But in Phuket, we did, like, the Phi Phi Islands. We went snorkeling. It was great. We had a great time.
How were the reefs
and then
there?
Oh, stunning.
Really?
Stunning.
They were amazing.
Like, we went to where that movie, The Island or whatever, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, that was a
Yeah.
good movie. And beautiful.
We went there.
Yeah.
We went there. You can't go on the beach anymore because tourists ruined it. Yeah, so that's, like, shut down, which is understandable.
Right.
You don't want tourists ruining nature. But we went there, we snorkeled around there, we snorkeled in a bunch of places, just beautiful places. And then we went back, and then I think we had to go to Bangkok. And then we were in Bangkok, we saw these beautiful Buddhas, we couldn't get into the palace because it was closed that day. And then my mom and I got sick the next day and hung out at the hotel. Which, I mean, we stayed at, like, a really nice hotel there, too.
Right.
Bangkok is not it's a little third worldly, but it's very urban. So it's very built up,
Yeah.
but still poor. And we stayed at the Hotel Shangri-La, which is, like,
Famous.
stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stunning hotel. It's right on the river, which we took the river taxi, to different markets and out to eat. Beautiful hotel. But the second day, like, we were in Bangkok. I think it was the malaria medicine, but my stomach was like, no, no more. and my mom was too. So, like, my mom and I hung out in the hotel, and Manny and his mom went and did stuff, and I was like, that's fine.
Right.
We've been here for, like, 9 days already. It's fine. Like, it's fine if I take a day off. So that's what we did. And then the next day we headed back.
And then you came back to COVID.
Well, then we went to Hong Kong, which we saw the Ritz-Carlton because of the riots. And then we came back.
Yeah.
But that was literally when COVID started.
Yeah.
Like, that was... I got back and I had to fly back.
I feel like because it started over there, so I feel like that really instilled some fear in you.
Well, I got back.
This, you were probably like, shit.
And I flew to California and I had, like, a cough and, like, a little bronchitis-y kind of thing.
Right.
And I was we were setting up travel screenings at work, and I was like, if somebody asked me this right now, I wouldn't be able to pass it.
Right.
I was like, I've flown out of the country, have some respiratory symptoms, like...
And
I was like, I would fail this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here I'm in the hospital right now talking to staff. Like...
Right.
Probably, yeah. But, so I think I flew back there 2 more times, and then I was like, no more flying. And then the timeline was off, and they were like, no, this started in December or January in Wuhan, and, like, now we know that's not true. It started, like, earlier, at least 6 months earlier, and I'm like, we could have definitely had COVID.
Right.
So yeah, fun story.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know at this point. I know probably like 2 handfuls of people who had it. I was actually the first person I knew at all to get it. I was actually one of the very first people in Rock County that was a confirmed case.
Oh.
So that happened for me. And then what's funny though is like because Michelle, who's listeners, it's a mutual friend of ours from high school. She lives in Texas. She flies in for 4th of July and St. Patty's every year. So she flew in for 4th of July, which we picked her up on a Friday. Of course, we just got completely wrecked Friday. So I woke up on the 4th of July, the very next day, sick as shit. I think I'm hungover because I'm like, we really fucking did one, And then as like the day goes on, I was like, okay, I just need to eat a salad, put some nutrition in my body, drink some water, eat a salad. So I did, and I still felt icky. And I'm like, okay, just start slow with a couple of White Claws, you know? 4th of July, you can rally. You've been hungover before. And then the day kept going, and I was just... Oh, and then once I did catch a buzz, and then I was, like, fine again. And then the next day, same thing. And I'm like, you guys, I think I am sick. Like, this is 2 days in a row. I don't get hungover like this. So, of course, when I ended up finding out I had COVID, there also just so happened to be a boom of COVID at the lake where I was at all weekend. So here I was just contaminating people, like kissing strangers, just sharing joints, doing all the things we weren't supposed to be doing. And I was the one with COVID contaminating all of these people. So yeah, I'm very...
You were Typhoid Mary of Janesville, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that. I just want everyone to know I'm not proud of that. But I did that. So that was my experience with COVID. It's like I'm not going...
Yeah, I haven't had it.
Huh?
I haven't had it. If I have had it,
It was very
I'm
mild,
unaware.
and you didn't even have to go. Yeah, no, mine started with like nausea. Like I said, I thought I was hungover. It was just consistent nausea for like days. And then I got a headache. And I was like, okay. And then it was like right after Michelle left that Monday, I was like, I've not been feeling well for 3 days now. Because at first I was like, okay, because it was really, really hot that weekend and we were drinking a lot. So I kind of, like I said, I attributed it to that. And then as time went on, like a couple days, I'm like, I don't get sick like this. So I went and got tested. And then that night I got tested, I was like, oh my gosh, I spiked a fever. And I knew it. I was like, I don't even need the results. I don't get fevers. I already know. And I was. And then that night I spiked the fever. And then I started sleeping like 16, 17 hours a day. Like, it was insane. I would get up, brush my teeth, wash my face, drink a bottle of water. And those like very minor tasks would make me, I would be like exhausted. Like, oh my gosh, I'm ready for bed again. So it was not fun to be sick. And I was sick for like almost 2 weeks. Like I was very sick for a long time. And then I had to because I sent Lily away when I got it, which is my daughter, because she has autoimmune disease. So then I kept her because, of course, CDC said, 2 weeks or whatever. So I kept her gone for an extra week because I wanted to be safe. So I didn't see my kid for almost a month. That was the worst part of it, was not being able to see her. Of course, like we'd FaceTime and stuff, but like every day she's like, Mom, can I come home? Mom, can I come home? And I'm like, God, I freaking wish. Like, no, but I wish. So yeah, COVID sucks. And then my hair started thinning. I mean, luckily I have a lot of it, but like that's a thing, which I didn't realize.
I've heard that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like normally my hair, I mean, I have very, very thick hair. I mean, and it still is. Like I just had it done last week. And when I went to the hair appointment, I've known this stylist. It was a new stylist. I've known her since high school though. And she's like, you're on your way here. And I thought, oh my gosh, I forgot how much hair she has. This is going to take forever. And I was like, lucky for you, I got COVID. My shit is all thinned out. She's like, well, you still have a lot of hair. I'm like, but it's way less than it was. And then she said that she's had a couple male clients that have had it and their hair has very much thinned, and she can tell, like it's obvious. And I'm like, that's horrible though. Like you're already sick, then you have to fucking worry about being bald headed too. Like what a shitty fucking virus,
That is terrible.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, yeah, I feel, it's bad. Like my mom got it in September, late September. She still is having problems, and it's March.
That's terrible.
She goes for respiratory therapy still. I mean, she's asthmatic, so she had like the respiratory issues. Luckily, she was in the hospital, but she never had to be like intubated or anything. Probably because she kept up on it. But yeah, she's still all these months later having respiratory therapy, and it comes and goes. Like sometimes I'll talk to her on the phone and she'll sound normal, and then the next time I talk to her, she's like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
sad.
I know it is, because she was always like, she was really careful. Like, she used to get after me when I would like have any type of social life, because she's a nurse and she works in a, you know, assisted living environment. So she was extra careful, because she's like one of the nurses that genuinely loves patients and cares about them. She's like, they're like my family. I would never forgive myself if I brought something in there and they got sick and passed away. Well, she ended up picking it up at work. Another nurse apparently went to some party where she knew people had been exposed, and ended up going back to work, and a bunch of the staff got sick, and a bunch of patients got sick, and patients died. And yeah, it's really sad, because there are people in healthcare that shouldn't be.
Don't care. Yeah.
Right, that are doing things that they should not be doing. So yeah, that's how my mom got it, was from work. She was doing everything she could have. I was not doing everything I should have been. I was, like I said, bar hopping. I mean, it was outside, so I thought it was okay. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm staying away from people. It's outside. And then, no, yeah.
Sometimes, every now and then, I forget and mess up and do something too.
Right.
Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, can I take a hit of your vape or something?
Right,
like,
and you're like,
up.
Like,
Yeah, I'm
shit.
like, oh.
Yeah,
That was a sketchy person. Like, I automatically go towards sketchy people to get, like, cigarettes when I'm drunk. Because I know I'll get them. I'm like, I'm hotter.
Right.
And
Like,
they have something I want.
Yeah. No, that's how it was. Like, on 4th of July weekend, I mean, I kissed a stranger. Like, who does that during a pandemic?
I mean, if I was single,
And yeah, that happened. And then, of course, yeah, like I said, unbeknownst to me, I had COVID at the time. So that poor guy probably went back to Chicago and contaminated a bunch of people.
Poor guy.
I know.
Oh my God.
I'm like, well, it'll teach him. You don't share joints and kisses with strangers during a
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
all
COVID,
right.
It's a thing.
It's a terrible thing.
It is.
It's been a year.
I know.
It's been a year.
It
And
is.
there's just been depression. Like, you're isolated and you're
So much
like,
isolation.
it's getting to the point with me, like, I actually got a second job because I was like, I need
Getting stir crazy.
to do something.
Right.
I mean, it's not just stir crazy, but I'm like, I need to do something because A, there's a reward, money,
Right.
but B, I'm like, it got to a point where I'm on an antidepressant. And I started taking the antidepressant before COVID. I'm like, this is working. I feel great.
Right.
And then, like, a year into COVID, I'm like, you know, like, it was like, I needed motivation to text
Right.
people back. And I'm like, this is not like a neurotransmitter thing. This is being a year of being isolated. So I was like, I'm getting a second job. I'm like, I need to do I need to feel needed, I think.
You're needed.
And
You are needed.
I know.
I would
but I'm
die without you. Die.
I know. I would die without you too, but I needed that instant, like, you know,
gratification.
that a job does.
Right.
That a job does, where a boss is like, you're in constant communication, you have
Right.
deadlines, and I needed that. So that's what I did.
So yeah, that's how you handled it. You got a second job.
I
A lot of people are picking up hobbies that they don't
Yeah.
normally do. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it sucks because I feel like there is so much alcoholism and depression. Like, so many people I know have not necessarily handled it. I mean, I definitely, towards the beginning, I definitely drank a lot.
Oh my gosh, I did too. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, actually, it wasn't even just the beginning. It was like almost the entire first year. I think I literally just started drinking less. Mainly because my boyfriend was like, you have issues. And I'm like, you
this
are
is
right.
not working for me.
And I'm like, you are absolutely correct. I drink far too much.
Right. Yeah. No, I have caught way back just because I was like, okay, like you've been doing this. I think it was like 4 months. I was like, you've been doing this for 4 months. It is time to stop. So,
All right. Yes. But
Yeah.
on that note,
so on that
it's
note, we're not.
it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been bad. We've come full
It's been
circle.
COVID. It's been COVID, and we're still in it, but we're starting to see things changing.
The light.
Right? The herd immunity, the vaccinations. Which, by the way, did you see that report? So there is a lot of speculation that the Moderna,
Oh,
causing
my friend got that
a
one.
ton of side effects.
Yeah, she got really, really sick.
Everyone says
really
that,
sick.
but it's after the second dose. But the
No, she got really sick after the first dose. She got so sick, she couldn't even get the second dose. Her doctor told her not to get it.
Holy shit! Well,
And she's a nurse. She wanted to get it.
there was a 39-year-old lady that got her first dose, and she was fine. She got her second dose on a Monday. By Friday, she was dead.
Oh my gosh.
Completely healthy woman. So
Did they find out what the cause of death was?
this was just like 3 days ago.
Oh.
And of course, they said right now it's they assume it is the vaccination because there's literally no other cause. But they
Yeah.
don't want people to jump ahead of the game.
Well, yeah.
To do their research. So they are researching it. But yeah, right now, the Johnson & Johnson one or the
Pfizer.
Yes, those are the two that you're supposed to get right now.
Well, no, don't say that. You're supposed to get the Moderna too.
Well,
But I
as
mean,
far as
I've
side
definitely
effects-
heard.
As far as side
Yeah.
effects go, those
Yeah,
are the two
I
that
definitely
don't have major side effects.
Heard some sketchier things about Moderna.
Yeah, I know. Are you gonna get the vaccination?
I signed up.
You did.
I mean, I am eligible if I lived in Orlando or Sacramento because I technically am a healthcare provider.
Yeah, I am too.
I
Actually,
just-
they messaged us the other day at work and told us that we're eligible to get it right now because we're technically healthcare because we are in the medical field. So I don't know.
But because
I'm going
I'm a
back and forth on
community.
it.
Yeah, but here, I'm just in the community and I don't do direct patient care, which
Right.
is a question that they ask you here. So I am not eligible yet. I did put my name on the list, but I'm not eligible yet.
So you are willing to get it right now.
Yeah.
So bold.
I really want the Pfizer or the Johnson. If it's the Moderna one, I'm
They're
gonna
like, I
"Oh."
don't. They're like, yes, we can give you the Moderna. And you're like, actually,
You're like, I'll come back tomorrow.
fine. Yeah.
Somebody calling, I think. I gotta take this.
I gotta take this.
I'll be right back. Be right back.
Okay.
All
well,
right.
I feel like we touched all the bases. Or anything else you can think of that we didn't?
I don't
talk
think
about?
so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All
I think that
right.
was good.
I think it was good.
And we will try to be on a more weekly scheduled basis.
We're going to. We're going to try our hardest, you guys. So we'll be back next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a new topic.
New topic.
We don't know yet, but it'll be new.
It'll be a good one. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.